Did you know the VA charges veterans a fee just to use the VA loan? This is known as the VA funding fee. And in this video, we're going to talk about who has to pay that fee, how the fee is paid, and also how much the fee is. The VA funding fee is a one-time payment that helps lower the cost for US taxpayers. Essentially, what this allows it to do is fully remain a zero-down loan. You see, the VA is actually putting themselves on the hook for veterans in the event that they default or foreclose on their home loan. If you'll notice in the VA guidelines, it will show that they're actually making themselves liable for 25% of your loan. Well, where do you think that money comes from? You guessed it, the VA funding fee. So when you think about why your VA funding fee exists, just remember this is actually help funding the program and actually just helping support your veteran community. Now, there are certain instances where the VA funding fee does not apply to a specific veteran or a specific individual that is using the VA loan. And we'll talk about that as well. So who has to pay this funding fee? This is going to apply to any veteran, active service member, reserve, or National Guardsman. Those that don't have to pay it are going to be those that are either A, receiving VA compensation due to a service-connected disability. It could even apply to a surviving spouse of a veteran who is receiving what's known as dependency and indemnity compensation, and also going to apply to a service member that has received a proposed rating prior to the closure of using their VA loan, and also going to apply to those that are a Purple Heart recipient. Those are going to be the ways that someone would not have to pay the funding fee. There are even some ways you could get your funding fee refunded back to you, and this is going to be done if, let's say, you receive your VA compensation after the closing of your VA loan and the funding fee was charged to you. You could actually get it refunded only if the effective date for your VA compensation was retroactive to before taking out the loan. Essentially, they're basically giving you back pay for you having, basically waited for your compensation to actually take place. If your date or the effective date of your VA compensation is after the date of your VA loan, then unfortunately, you're not going to be able to get that funding fee refunded. Now, if you think that you were wrongfully charged a funding fee or shouldn't have been charged one to begin with, you can still reach out to the VA by calling the number that I will link right here on the screen. And I'll also link down below. I'll put just funding fee refund, and you can click on that link down below and go and check out those resources that are specifically on the VA website directly and contact them at that number there. All right, so let's talk about how funding fees are paid. This is either going to be paid up front at the time of closing on your loan, or it's going to be rolled into your loan, essentially affecting your monthly payment that you pay every single month on your home loan. Now, the veteran has the choice. Neither one are required to do. It's simply up to you to decide. And I can tell you right now, in my 7.5, almost 8 years of doing this, I've actually never had a veteran pay the funding fee up front, simply because I honestly advise against it. I personally believe that having the funding fee rolled into your loan is the best route, because most times a veteran is just not going to keep a property long enough to have paid that much money of the funding fee, or they're going to have refinanced that loan and essentially adjusted the monthly payment that they're going to have on their VA home loan. So I just personally think that having that money that you would be using up front, it could be allocated or invested elsewhere to make you far more money than just simply paying it up front to lower your monthly payment. I mean, if you look at it in the big picture, the difference that it's going to change in your monthly payment is only going to be, I would say, really $40 to $60 per month at most, on most loans, unless obviously you're doing it or you're getting into a much higher price point. And what I mean by much higher, I'm talking about, over 7, 8, or 900,000 range before you start to see it go into like that triple digit range. But again, even if it was in that higher price point, personally, I just still think that rolling the funding fee into your loan is going to be a far more advantageous decision for you to make. Before I jump into what the different funding fee amounts are, if you've gotten any value from this video so far, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. What this does is it tells the YouTube algorithm that this information is valuable, and it allows it to get pushed out to more veterans just like you so they can learn this valuable information. And also, I challenge you to subscribe and join the community. This channel was created to talk about nothing but the VA home loan benefit, and I would love your support and also to provide more value to you around this unique benefit. So how much are the different funding fees? Well, if you are purchasing property for the first time using your VA home loan benefit, and you are not putting any money down whatsoever, your funding fee is going to be 2.15%. Now, if you are going to use your VA loan for the second, third, fourth time, really anything more than the first time, this is what's known as subsequent use. And the funding fee for that is going to be 3.3%, a slightly higher funding fee in this case. But did you know if you actually put some money down using your VA loan, your funding fee actually decreases? So if you are putting 5% down, your funding fee is going to be 1.5%. And this is actually going to be anything between 5 to 9.9%, really just below 10. Here's why. If you do a 10% down payment, the funding fee is going to be 1.25%. So just barely lower than the 5% range. Personally, I love the 5% down option if a veteran is putting money down. And that's just simply because the difference between 5 and 10% is so minimal that you almost don't even see a difference in monthly payment. It's a very small amount, especially if a veteran is finding themselves on that cusp of where they have just enough to put 10% down. I personally believe that keeping that money and allocating it elsewhere is going to be a much better investment. But that's a different topic, or a topic for at least a different video for another day. But what about if you're going to refinance property? The refinance has a few different options. The first one we're going to talk about is cash out refinance. A cash out refinance is treated similar to when you're purchasing a property. Cash out refinance, the first time using your VA loan, is going to be 2.15%. So this would be in the instance that maybe you had bought a property under, like, let's say an FHA loan or even a conventional loan, and you didn't use your VA loan at all, and now you're going to refinance it into your VA loan. Well, that funding fee is going to be 2.15%. If you, let's say, already used your VA loan, maybe the property that you have is under a VA loan currently, and you're going to just do a cash out refinance to take some equity out, pay off some debt, whatever it is that you're going to do, the funding fee for that subsequent use is the same as using it for the second, third, or fourth purchase. That funding fee is going to be 3.3%. Now, the other way that you can do a refinance on a VA loan is what's known as the streamlined refinance, or the IRRL, interest rate reduction refinance loan. This funding fee is only 0.5%. Again, just like all the other funding fees that I talked about before, this can be rolled into your loan, essentially just changing your monthly payment a small amount. It's important for you to remember that the VA funding fee is being charged by the Department of Veterans Affairs, not your lender. And if you want to align yourself with a team of individuals that help veterans every single day navigate the VA loan process, give us a call, shoot us a text. Me and my team are happy to help you. And if you want to learn all the different ways that your VA loan can be used, watch this video right here.